India-led G4 nations call out China, Coffee Club bluff on UNSC reforms. India along with Japan, Germany, and Brazil, part of the G4 countries on Monday, August 31, called out China and the Coffee Group bluff on United Nations Security Council, UNSC, reforms as the United Nations decided on the next steps for reforms at the high table. The Coffee Group of Uniting for Consensus, UFC, group, led by Italy has Pakistan, Turkey as its members and aims to counter bids by G4 countries. India shot off two letters, one on a standalone basis and another as part of G4 grouping to United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, President highlighting two aspects, one backing common African position, and another and more importantly on those who, on the pretext of negotiations, are stalling reforms, which clearly pointed to China. The letter by India's Deputy Permanent Representative to UN, Ambassador Nagaraj Naidu to the President of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, Tijjani Muhammad Bande said, after more than a decade towards text-based negotiations, the inter-government negotiations process has become a convenient smokescreen to hide behind for those who do not wish to see any reforms in the Security Council. There is a need to ensure that the Inter-governmental Negotiations, IGN, process is not held hostage, procedurally and substantially, by those who do not wish to bring about reforms to the Security Council. Those who demand reform will be forced to look for other ways to finally make progress, including potentially outside the IGN process. Intergovernmental Negotiations Framework, IGN, is a group within the United Nations that is looking into UNSC reforms but has made no progress since 2009 when it was formed. The group's conversation is considered informal in nature and thus UNGA rule of procedure don't apply. Also, no attempts have been made to put talks into the consolidated text to begin formal negotiations due to resistance by certain countries like China opposed to the expansion of UNSC membership. G4 have also called for urgent need for transparency and application of General Assembly's rules of procedure to the intergovernmental negotiations. On Africa, the letter said, it is only correct and fair that the growing support expressed for the common African position in the two meetings of the IGN earlier this year are captured in discussions. The common African position for UNSC expansion has been stipulated under a role-winning consensus and Sirte declaration, both of which call for at least 2 permanent and 5 to 2 non-permanent UNSC seats to be given to African countries at the high table. What is interesting is, the Chinese mission to the UN was quick to react and question the need for reforms in haste. This is when informal negotiations for reforms are underway for the last 10 years, thus bringing out Beijing's mischief on reforms at UNSC. The Chinese mission in a statement said, to start text-based negotiations in a haste or to impose a single document is not conducive to building consensus and promoting unity. The Italian mission to UN, chair to the Coffee Group, also reacted and in a letter called for necessary political will and flexibility. Both the Chinese letter and the Coffee Club's letter made no mention of common African position. Earlier this year, 2 IGN meetings happened, but the other remaining meetings are yet to happen. The developments of Monday will be part of the UN record and will be raised by countries calling for reforms during the further negotiation process.